of sustained assault in Ukraine. Russia sent in more than 600 drones and dozens of missiles, putting any plans for peace in doubt.
All week there's been talk of peace, but this is the reality of war, and adds to the sense felt here in Ukraine that Russia has no wish to bring this conflict to an end.
Devastating floods and landslides across Southeast Asia leave 600 people dead. On the edge of glory, Britain's Lando Norris prepares and hopes tomorrow is his championship day. And
I love you beyond poetry.
the movie blockbuster created by one of Britain's greatest playwrights, Sir Tom Stoppard, who's died aged 88.
This is ITV News with Lucy Watson.
Good evening. Hundreds of drones and dozens of missiles have struck Ukraine in the biggest attack by Russia in a month. People's homes and the country's power plants were hit, leaving hundreds of thousands without energy at the start of winter. Despite the ferocious onslaught, it's believed only a few people died, but many more have been injured. The attack comes just a day before the US attempts to hold the next round of peace talks. And for many Ukrainians, last night's attacks are further evidence that President Putin has no real interest in peace. From Kyiv, Emma Murphy reports.
For 10.5 hours, Ukraine was under attack in one of the most sustained nighttime assaults of this war. Dozens of missiles and 600 drones hitting civilian homes and targeting power plants. Across the country, fire crews worked under the threat of further attack, seeking to douse flames and find those trapped in ruins. Dawn broke to the familiar hum of drones and revealed the night's horrors. In Kyiv, explosions tore into buildings as people slept or tried to, amidst the continuous sound of explosions and air defense.
Yeah, there is my brother, yeah. He has something with the leg. He has the collapse of... Yes. And something with the head. He is in the... How would it be, emergency?
Anna's brother was injured when a drone hit his building.
It was the attack by drones, and the drone shot the 6th floor, and the 7th and 8th floor came down.
All week there's been talk of peace, but this is the reality of war, and adds to the sense felt here in Ukraine that Russia has no wish to bring this conflict to an end. As the cleanup got underway, President Zelensky dispatched a new team of negotiators to the United States. The departure of his chief of staff yesterday as a result of a corruption inquiry, forcing a last-minute shift. Whether that heralds a shift in policy or position is yet to be seen. Emma Murphy, ITV News, Kyiv.
Airlines around the world have been forced to update their software on their Airbus A320s. A technical glitch revealed yesterday meant that many had to be grounded temporarily. But the good news tonight is that many are back in service. Neil Connery has the details.
Despite fears of disruption from the Airbus safety alert, most airports like Luton were operating as normal today. Gatwick reported some disruption, while Heathrow and Manchester said it was business as usual. Thousands of Airbus A320 series planes were grounded due to a warning that solar radiation could interfere with onboard flight computers.
This is the most popular aircraft in the world. 8 million people take off on Airbus A320 aircraft. They worked out what the problem was, what the fix was, and then told all the airlines, right, you've basically got to get it all sorted out this weekend.
In Japan, All Nippon Airways cancelled 95 domestic flights, affecting more than 13,000 passengers. Airbus discovered the issue after one plane flying between the US and Mexico suddenly lost altitude and was forced to make an emergency landing in October. At least 15 people were injured.
This sounds like a fairly quick, short-term software update. They're actually telling operators to go back to a prior version of the software that may not be as susceptible. Airbus said that it should be a fix of up to 3 hours, so that's something that can be addressed between flights or on overnight checks.
Airbus has apologised and says the software updates will be completed as swiftly as possible. Neil Connery, ITV News.
There are calls from the Conservatives tonight for the Chancellor to be sacked after Rachel Reeves was accused of misleading voters over the state of public finances in the run-up to the budget. A letter from the Office for Budget Responsibility suggests she exaggerated the size of the so-called fiscal black hole. Downing Street denies she misled anyone. And the first Your Party conference has got underway in Liverpool, but without one of its co-founders. Zara Sultana, who started the New Socialist Party with Jeremy Corbyn in July, boycotted day one in protest after some of her supporters weren't allowed in after a row over the rules. More than 600 people are feared dead after devastating floods across Southeast Asia. Millions more have been affected across Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand and Sri Lanka. Rainid Nandra has the latest.
From the wreckage of devastating landslides, bodies emerge and the number of dead keep rising. This is the aftermath of Cyclone Senya. Triggered floods and earthquakes in Indonesia, submerging houses, but also the missing and those looking for them. In Sumatra, thousands took shelter in temporary evacuation centres overnight, now trying to escape in the daylight, boarding trucks, leaving behind what's left of their homes. Rescuers in Thailand felt the true force of the floods, too harsh to fight against it. Businesses and homes gutted out. This woman only has the clothes on her back.
Everyone is completely destitute. There's nothing left. Each person only what they're wearing. This outfit is all I have left.
Medical teams help those injured at home, while others mourn the loss of their loved ones.
It's a major psychological issue. The loss, the sadness. How do we reduce this despair? Therefore, the swift and respectful management of the deceased is extremely meaningful.
In Sri Lanka, several districts remain underwater after hours of non-stop rainfall from Cyclone Ditwa. Thousands move to temporary shelters, keeping dry whatever they can carry, as rivers overflow in central Dambulla and Nuwara Elia. Rescue families trapped in flooded homes, but many are still missing. The relief effort is swift for Sri Lanka from neighbouring India, and though it seems the heavy rain is dissipating, the long and painful search for survivors continues. Ravneet Nandra, ITV News.
Sport, and things have only got worse for Wales, who were humbled once again in today's Rugby Autumn Internationals. They suffered their heaviest ever home defeat in Cardiff at the hands of world champions South Africa. The Springboks beat them 73-0, with Wales conceding 11 tries. To F1 now, and Britain's Lando Norris could become the new Formula One world champion in 24 hours' time. All he has to do is win tomorrow's Qatar Grand Prix, and he's given himself a good chance after finishing second in today's qualifying. But he's behind McLaren teammate and nearest title rival Oscar Piastri. Chris Scudder reports on what may be a champion in waiting.
So close now for Lando. He got his hands on one trophy today, a third place in the warm-up sprint race at the Qatar Grand Prix. But the one he really wants is the driver's title. And with 2 races left and a 22-point lead, he has every chance of becoming Britain's first world champion since Lewis Hamilton. It's been one of the tightest contests for years, with 3 drivers jostling for the crown. Lando's teammate Oscar Piastri won today's sprint and is the nearest challenger, but lurking just behind is the 4 times champion Max Verstappen. And although friends, there's no love lost with such a big prize on the line.
I have a lot of respect, and I think that gives anyone a lot of credit in general. You know, he's achieved an incredible amount, more than anyone generally dreams of achieving, you know. So, you know, Max generally has a good clue about a lot of things, but there's also a lot of things he doesn't have much of a clue about, you know.
If Lando finishes ahead of Verstappen tomorrow, the champion cannot catch him. But the Brit will start from only second on the grid, behind Piastri. He looks disappointed, and that means he'll have to win the race to clinch his first world title this weekend at the age of 26. Chris Scudder, ITV News.
And finally, the King and Queen have led tributes to the multi-award-winning playwright Sir Tom Stoppard, who's died at the age of 88. Stoppard won an Oscar for his screenplay of blockbuster Shakespeare in Love. Tonight, King Charles said in a statement, they are deeply saddened and described him as one of our greatest writers who wore his genius lightly. Graham Stoppard looks back at his life.
I love you.
A film about one of the world's best storytellers by one of the world's best storytellers.
Oh, I thought you did. I did not care about all the plays that would never come.
Shakespeare in Love won Tom Stoppard an Oscar.
To Mark Norman and Tom Stoppard for Shakespeare in Love.
Just one award of many earned through a lifetime of writing. Known as a deep-thinking but playful playwright.
Don't clap, they'll play the music.
His life was as dramatic as any of his scripts. Born in Czechoslovakia in 1937, he and his family fled Nazi occupation, eventually finding safety in Britain. His talent saw him go from refugee to Sir Tom, knighted by Queen Elizabeth in 1997. He counted King Charles among his admirers, who tonight paid tribute, saying, "My wife and I are deeply saddened to learn of the death of one of our greatest writers, Sir Tom Stoppard, a dear friend who wore his genius lightly."
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
He wrote his breakthrough hit Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead for the stage in the 60s, but adapted it for cinema in 1990. He won a prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award in 2017, his reaction typically self-deprecating.
Of course, it's very heartwarming, but at the same time, the back of one's mind is thinking, yeah, but I haven't finished.
His agent said he died peacefully at home, surrounded by family.
The playwright Sir Tom Stoppard, who's died aged 88. And that is it from us. Good night, and thank you for watching.